This woman goes to the 2X chromosome subreddit and asks for a vibe check. And I want you to count the red flags as I read this because this is just a red flag parade, as someone puts it in the comment section. She says, "Vibe check, please. I'm considering breaking up with my boyfriend over groceries. My boyfriend and I are both in our mid 30s. I have been recently dating him for the last few months. But I'm already considering breaking things off, even though things are generally positive. I just don't like how he's handling groceries. I feel ridiculous even saying this. We do not live together, but we hang out at my place a lot. We can't really hang out at his place because it's a total disaster area because he's one of those financial independence guys. He doesn't value having things like furniture, for example. So he just has heaps of clothes and other things on the floor. His kitchen is super disorganized, but minimal to the point that if I want to drink water, I need to wash a glass. He has like four plates. He also really doesn't have anywhere to sit. I really don't like staying there for that reason. Also, am I a jerk for thinking that I would want to see him maintain his apartment before he could possibly move in with me? I get not wanting to spend unnecessary money, but I just feel so weird hanging out there next to piles of stuff. I know that's mostly my own preferences being different than his, but it is still weird. I think most of us would say the exact same thing, ma'am. So he spends most of his time at my place. I cook almost all my meals, which means that I've basically been cooking for him too. While he does help with the dishes, I still have to spend a ton of time cooking. Then he will proceed to eat basically as much as he wants, even to the point of being uncomfortable, even if it takes me 9 hours to make the dish. This means that we won't have leftovers, so I have to cook again for meal prep. He says it's because my food is so good that he wants to eat it while it's still fresh and that he had food scarcity growing up. I feel like all I'm doing now is cooking, when before I would just spend about 4 hours on a Sunday and have my meals for one week. I don't particularly want him to cook for me because he said that before he dated me, he would primarily eat eggs, oatmeal, and chia pudding. I really don't want to be subjected to that. Because we don't live together, he thinks it's unfair for him to contribute to my groceries, even though he acknowledges he eats more than me because the food is stored here and I won't give him access to my apartment when I'm not around. Means that he shouldn't have to split the cost. I agree that it's not totally fair to split 50-50, but 0 to 100 isn't fair either. I make plenty of money, but I feel like it's sort of ridiculous for me to have to foot the cost of groceries, especially because we also split the cost of our dates. This weekend, we went out to dinner and I paid for my meal. Earlier today, I asked him about contributing more towards groceries, and he said that he drives me around on the weekend, so he thinks this balances out. I think that's sort of ridiculous. He and I drive together because he's here on the weekend, and it makes absolutely no sense for us to drive separate. And also, the cost of gas on the weekends alone is far outpaced by my grocery bill. Okay, this dude is a lot. Okay, I said be writing down the red flags as I read it. So the cost of gas makes up for the groceries. Okay, y'all. I've also let him drive my car around when his car is in the shop. When he takes food to go to work, I have to hound him to bring back my glass containers. Then he will bring the containers while they are still dirty. It's seriously the most stupid recurring fight I've ever had. I would be okay with him paying like $10 a day when he does eat here, but I would feel bad as if it's a lazy day where I just make noodles or something, and I don't want to feel like I'm nickel and diming my boyfriend. In in every other way, he's really thoughtful and overall a good boyfriend. So I feel like a lunatic for wanting to break things off. Is there any other advice here? How can I communicate this better without me just nagging at him about how he needs to contribute? Edited for context. We both work similar jobs for similar hours and make similar amounts of money. Neither of us are in financial situations where paying for groceries is a concern for our budget. I jumped onto this post early. I'm like, ugh, he is a parasite using you for your time, energy, and resources. These dudes are effing colonizers. They use you as much as you'll let them. Groceries cost money. Shopping, chopping, and cooking takes time and energy. Cleanup is time and energy. For him to just come over, overeat, and not give you any money is disgusting, honestly. And it's not just groceries. He's inconsiderate and a user. He's using her car. He's gaslighting her. He's acting like he's not using her for money. He's driving her car. Oh my God, this is terrible. Let's look at what other people were saying. And please join the conversation. Just let it out because I'm sure y'all are going to agree with me. This person says, yeah, not really a long time prospect there. When he comes over, he can order and pay for takeout or delivery. You buy your own groceries and he can cover your meals when he's over. If he doesn't like that, he can pick up the ingredients on the way over and you can cook, or you can throw him back into the pond. BLM BMJ says, or you can throw him back into the pond and says, I am dead. The OP says, I didn't think of sending him off to go shopping. That's a good idea. She did not hone in on you can throw him back in the pond. AP Lady Leaning says, don't even bother. He'll find a way to weasel out of it. Cut your losses now. Trust me, I've dated guys like him and it never gets better. It's never worth it. Pinupular says, yup, the ones that care would be feeling uncomfortable about the mooching and offering to try to make it more fair well before you end up cooking this many big meals in a row. And I cannot believe I just read over the part where he has no furniture and just has heaps of stuff on the floor. This is like, and he's in his 30s, y'all. She said they're in their 30s. This is a mess. Mitty K says, bruh, why are you with the man in his 30s who can't maintain his own household? Is the sex that good? And then I Kiddo Goat or something like that. I Kid, I Goat says, I bet it's not. She didn't even mention if that man had a bed or not. How are you comfortable being with somebody that has no furniture in their mid 30s? And he makes decent money. This is absolutely not sustainable. Rigney says, side note, as soon as you're finished cooking, make yourself a to-go container for lunches and then the next 2 days and put them in the fridge, then serve dinner. If he steals your lunch, that's a whole other issue. The fact that she would have to go through those types of lengths is a mess. And that's what Bears Al's Frog says. You could do that, but these types of strategies will be causing you to spend mental energy galore just to figure out ways to get this guy to do the right thing. This gets old, especially if you have kids one day. How dare he eat so much of your groceries and act like it's unfair to help you pay for them? It doesn't matter if you can afford it. He's taking advantage of you, which is disrespectful and predatory. He's an entitled brat. Part of his financial independence plan is to utilize your paycheck as much as possible to save his own. His apartment looks like hell because of immaturity and incompetence, not because of some financial strategy, by the way. Thrift stores and moving sales exist. They sell furniture. Also, this is the tip of the iceberg. You've merely been dating him for a few months, which means he's still putting his best foot forward. This is the best he's got. Things will get real after a year, and he already sounds like a nightmare. Give yourself permission to dump him already. You are right. And then Popular Bonus says, this is really as good as this gets, the best he's got. If you have to think about changing or convincing him this early, throw him back in the pond. Another throw him back in the pond. A Little Crunchy says, this is not a fully formed human. This is a boy waiting for a meal ticket. Dump his butt. The Queens of the Castile says, a hobosexual, boot him. A hobosexual, yes, he absolutely is. Baker's High said, yeah, dump him. This is awful. I'd venture to say he's a hobosexual. He's financially independent, but comes over and mooches off of a woman he's been dating for a few months. Doesn't sound independent to me. He doesn't. He is a parasite. He is attaching to her. He's staying over all the time because you have furniture and he doesn't. You have plates and he doesn't. Dump him. Y'all, join the conversation. Let me know what you think of this one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.